Yeah, I thought I'd make a little video here about lead ropes and cows, and what I use, what I do, and what ones I don't use and won't use. And you can buy these already pre-made, all fancy woven ends and stuff. These work good. I see them all the time. Anywhere's, now I haven't really looked lately, but I've seen them between $8 and $15. First thing is, don't buy this style. This one here. If it's a plastic, twisted rope, do not buy it. They are useless. For one thing, they don't stay where you put them. When you cinch them down on the cow, they're so slippery and stiff that these will loosen up. Now the guy that I milk his cows for, he shows at 4 different fairs. These are the ones he uses. And half the time this nose piece is clear up by the cow's eyes. They don't stay in place. And when you do tie them down, you can't tie a knot in them that stays. You know, they'll come untied, they can work them loose. There's the royal pain in the ass. So like I say, don't bother with plastic rope, it's twisted. Now here's the same rope, but this one, it's plastic, but it's braided. And it's hard to see because this rope is over 20 years old. But it's braided. And it's the same thing. These might be better if they get wore. You know, I found like this one here was laid out in the sun for several months. Lost it somewhere, forgot about it. And it's become my favorite rope. This one's easy to work. Ties knot nice, comes undone nice. But like I said, these are much better than the twisted ones. They got a little bit better bite. But I make my own. And my favorite, best thing to use is this 1/2-inch sisal twine. Or, that's not twine, but rope. And like I say, these cost anywhere up to $15. You can go to Tractor Supply, buy a 100-foot roll of this stuff. I'm pretty sure it's under $20. I think it's like $19. And about 15 foot works out about right. Real nice length for a lead rope. And you can get 6 or 8 of them, or at least 6 of them out of a roll of it. So you got less than $3 in a rope. This is another good one. I don't know exactly what this is. It's got some kind of core to it in this braided outer layer. The problem with this one is you don't want to use it on something that's going to pull, because with these, when this pulls a knot, you cannot get that undone. And it's the same thing. If you got this as a lead rope on the cow and you got her tied to a post or something and she's yanking and pulling and stuff, she will pull that knot so tight that you can't get it untied. But this works good for like small calves, you know, something that's not too strong. But smaller calves, you know, ones that are more cooperative, this will make a good lead rope. And then when you get to showing cows, then you use these. Now this is the same principle as them ropes, but this helps train the cows a little bit better, because when you're pulling on this, then it squeezes down, and when it gets pressure on their nose, then they learn to stop and go, and when you release up, you know, it releases the pressure on them. And that's what gets expensive when you start showing cows, because you got to have one. If you start out with a 4 or 5 month old calf, you can have one that fits a calf. And then the next year she's a yearling. Them halters are too small, and I think this one's for a yearling. And then when she gets to be an older milker cow, you actually have a bigger one yet. This one might actually adjust out enough for a cow. I think it'll be big enough for a Jersey cow. I don't know if it'll work on a Holstein, but then like I say, you get 7, 8 cows showing, then you got 7 or 8 of these, and these run $30 to $50 a piece. But like I say, we got a bunch of them off my niece. She's not showing 4-H anymore, and then we're friends with a bunch of people that show there. I mean, we show cows just for fun. And, you know, we trade halters back and forth, you know, if we need to. You know, if we have a calf, we can borrow somebody's calf. We don't need to go out and buy one. But I'm going to show how I make a lead rope. And the first thing is, let's see, I take this 1/2-inch sisal rope and tie a knot in the end so it doesn't fray. And then just go around. See if I can tie a knot one-handed. And you slip that through again. So it's like that. Now just hold on. Now when you pull that knot tight, then it makes this loop here. And then that makes this adjustable. You can slide this back and forth. This is your nose, goes around the nose. And then what you do is you pull this through. Be a bumpy ride here. And then that makes, this is the part around, goes around the head. And that goes around their nose. And there you got a simple lead rope. But there's a little trick you got to do with this to work it right. Because if you look right now, the way this is, if you put this on the cow the way it is, your rope will slide around. And the whole goal of this is to have control of that cow's nose. If she can get her head down, she will lead you around. You want to make sure she can keep her nose up. So you want to get it on the end of the nose so you have the most control of her. So what you got to do with this when you put it on, if you put it on this way, this is on top of the nose and this is on under the chin. What you do is when you put it on, you give this a half twist. So what was on, so it would be on top of the nose, it goes underneath the chin instead. And then that puts a twist in here and it won't slide around, it'll actually stay cinched. And if I can get a cow to cooperate here, I'll demonstrate that. Now see, if you just put this on there like this, this slides around. It can get clear underneath her or clear over her. So what you do is, like I say, you put what would be on top. Oh, come on, cooperate here. So like you say, you just give this a partial twist, half twist, and you can see instead of this going clear down, now it's coming back out the back. And that actually puts a twist in there, and it ain't going nowhere. And then like I say, then you can cinch this down, slide that as tight as you need to, slide it around her head. And right now that's not going to go anywhere. And so you want it in right at the back of their chin and over their nose, and this will give you the most control of the animal. She can't get her head down unless you let her to have it down. It gives you, now see, like I say, that twisted poly rope, I've seen them clear up here, and that just annoys the hell out of me. And then, like I said, and that's the other thing of this. Like I said, this rope gives you enough. Like I said, it's roughly 15 foot. It's a nice length to tie them in a trailer. Lead them around, hold on to them. And then what's nice about this, I can take this rope, go from this cow to that cow who's got bigger nose, just bump it out a little bit and they'll fit her. And then I can go over here to that calf and cinch it down. Now, she's probably just big enough for this rope. That's the problem with this 1/2-inch rope. You get like a month-old or 2-month-old calf, it doesn't work very good. You might want 3/8 rope for that one. But yeah, simple, cheap. Plus the other benefit is, you know, they're expendable. You know, you don't have to worry about losing them. Or like I had here the other day, I had a cow down with milk fever. And for people who don't know, when a cow's down with milk fever, she's laying there like a normal cow. She's using more calcium than her body's producing, and her muscles basically don't function. She can't stand up. So you got to IV her calcium. And what you do is, when she's laying down, you'll actually bring the rope to her back leg and tie it down as tight as you can. You know, you'll curl her right up into a ball. You do not want her to move because your IVM in the jugular vein here. I'll cooperate. There's a vein that runs right down here. So you want her as immobile as possible because you're sticking a 2-inch needle into that vein. So like I say, you tie them to their legs so they can't, they try to get up, they can't. Very easily anyhow. But like I had here the other day, I had a cow. She wasn't that bad. I got the first bottle of calcium in her. She tried to get up and she actually rolled herself over and actually had her head pinned underneath her body. And I could not get to the knot to untie her. So I had to cut. I could get to the top of her head here or somewhere in here, I forget where it was, but I ended up cutting the rope to get it off of her. And I say, you really don't want to go out there and cut a $15 rope to do that. But like I say, stay away from these twisted plastic ropes. Now like I said, these might be fine. If you got one, I'd set it outside for 4 or 5 months in the sun and rain, let it weather. It might be all right then, but I never did like them. Like I said, this one wasn't much better when I bought it, and that's what happened to this one. But like I said, this is my favorite rope right here. And like I said, I mean, you can use pretty much anything. And say this stuff here, you don't want to use it on something that's going to be pulling a lot. At least tie it. I mean, this might work good to lead them around the yard or something. I mean, it's good for small calves and stuff, but main one I like using sisal twine. It is a little bit harder on the hands. I mean, this ain't bad, but it will get like a splintering to it when it's new. So you might gouge your hands up on that a little bit. Yeah, but like I said, these were good to train them to lead and stuff. You know, they get a little more respect to this, and you got a little bit more control. But like I say, you got to have one for every class and stuff, so it gets expensive. So like I say, you know, somebody you can borrow one from or use, or they say, I don't know how many we got around here. My niece gave us a bunch. I know my wife bought 2 or 3 of them. I say, I'm sure we got like 6 or 7 of these around here. But yeah, like I said, I just share that little tip on lead ropes on cows. Like I say, it's just as well off making your own. And like I say, the whole goal is to be able to control the animal, and so she doesn't control you. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.